Hello, friends, and welcome to the Cinemondo podcast with Kathy and Mark. Me,
Burk.
We've been movie fans a very long time. And part of that history, part of movies is having these actors and these movies that stay with you for a very long time. Like,
yes,
like we talked about, like there's a new John
Iconic.
Williams. Yeah, there's John Williams coming out pretty soon. I think about it going, John Williams has been with us our whole lives almost. Like
Yeah.
he just is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And another actor I think that was so important that to like childhood and nostalgia was Chris Reeve, who really nobody beat him as Superman. Nobody. I mean, just
that movie.
I don't know what he was so perfect.
He was
Yeah.
he was unknown. I remember when that came out
Yeah.
in '78. Like, who's this Christopher Reeve?
And you were like,
unknown
like,
actor.
God.
Because Gene Hackman got Marlon Brando, Margot Kidder. They all got a higher billing than Christopher Reeve. But as soon as you saw him, you said, "Boy, that is Clark Kent and
That's
Superman."
it.
And he
That's
could play
the
both
thing.
characters really
He did
well.
both. Yeah. I was
Mhm.
going to bring that up. It's like not only did he play strong Superman, but he
Yeah.
did such a heartwarming Clark Kent. You just loved Clark Kent too. You liked both of these people, and they were so radically different from each other. When he took off the glasses and became Superman, you could kind of understand the weird, the huge plot hole that the comic books had of like, it's like, you do this and it's like, oh, where did Burk go?
Yeah.
See, if Mark and I took our glasses off, you would wonder who Burk was in this podcast with. Who are these new people?
Yeah.
Where did Kathy and Mark go?
Yeah,
I don't know who these people are.
There's a comic book artist that I really like online. If you look him up, Kerry Callan, KerryCallen. He does sort of parodies of comic books and things like that. And he did a comic strip one time where I can't remember exactly what it is. I'll probably get it wrong, but it was like a woman is Lois Lane is taking care of her friend's baby, and they're going through the store, and the baby picks up some sunglasses or some glasses and puts them on, and she screams and she's like, "Where did my baby go? Somebody took my baby."
That's funny. Well,
Christopher Reeve really nailed the difference between the small town goofy dude and this alien presence
And the sort of
another
innocence.
planet.
He straddled it so perfectly. So of course he became a massive star after these movies.
Right.
And just the emotional depth of the character too, like in the scene. I mean, it's not a spoiler at this point, but when Lois Lane dies and he just screams and flies like faster than the speed of light and actually turns back time. Some people have criticized that scene, but I think it's classic because he was so. It was overwhelming grief and horror, at what he felt like he was responsible for. Everything in that film is incredible. It's an amazing movie.
Yeah, and but Christopher Reeve had an amazing career until, of course, this horrible, tragic accident that happens, and what happened after that. So it's a compelling story about a really interesting guy, not just an actor. So I'm interested to see this documentary, which is coming out November 1st, and it's directed by Ian BonhôtePeter. So let's take a look at the trailer. It's called Super/Man, right? The Christopher Reeve story.
All right.
Let's check it out.
Are we ready?
Ready.
And
everybody's looking for a hero. I am not a hero. That was a part. I played the part. I'm not that man.
Hands down, he was Superman from day one.
I realized that if I could pull off this part, it would change my life.
John Houseman said, Mr. Reeve, it is very important you become a serious classical actor. Unless, of course, they offer you a load of money to do something else.
He convinced me when I first met him that he would fly.
Doing things with my dad, it was all about activity and action. Riding bikes, playing soccer, skiing.
My dad was very competitive, and he didn't necessarily slow down.
We said goodbye, and he gave this wave. That was the last time I saw him on his feet.
Mr. Reeve currently has no movement or spontaneous respiration.
Superman, crazy. Just that simple little thing over the horse.
I'd ruined my life and everybody else's. I won't be able to ski, sail, throw a ball to Will. Won't be able to make love to Dana. Maybe we should let me go.
She came flying in and she just yelled, "I love you. I love you."
And then she said the words that saved my life. You're still you, and I love you.
He and Robin were such good friends because they could match each other.
Robin also had struggles that he dealt with his whole life, and I think that they both were aware of darkness.
Brother Chris is fighting like crazy. When you find people who fight like that but still keep their humanity, that gives you great hope.
That is tough because I can feel him, but he can't feel me.
It must have been hell for my mom, too, knowing what she had lost.
I felt I needed to do something, not just for myself, but for everyone else in the same condition.
The fact that Superman was in a wheelchair and was willing to go public with it was huge.
Help is on the way.
The Christopher and Dana Reeve Paralysis Act.
Wow. People are literally walking because of him.
What is a hero? My answer was that a hero is someone who commits a courageous action without considering the consequences. Now my definition is completely different. I think a hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
I will be a mess.
Wow.
I know.
I was about to
touching.
Okay. Oh my God. People are so impressive sometimes when they can overcome, not even overcome, but persevere, I guess, and find hope and purpose when you're in that kind of, I mean, his was especially tragic because he was like
neck down.
Like,
total quadriplegic.
And
he also loved life and was all about sport. It was hockey and doing all this stuff that, you know, it's
and that's the irony of it is that he was like this, you know, perfect man, you know, he was like the Superman, you know, and this happened to him. And I think what he was talking about, you know, heroism there and all that, you know, it's, to me, what strikes me about this kind of action on his part is the fact that he could have been selfish. I mean, not selfish, but, you know, he could have just retired.
He could have just become introverted and just say, I'm just get away from life, as opposed to doing exactly the opposite, which would help from his wife, who seems amazing, but just sort of like do all these things, you know? Yeah.
But the idea, what I was thinking is that he decided not to do that and instead to go out and help people. You know, it was like he was not just thinking about how do I feel? I feel terrible. I'm going to do this and this. It was like, what can I do to help other people? And they tried to figure out, you know, I remember when he was still alive, there was a lot of talk about research into stem cells and all this stuff that they were, you know, creating this foundation for that Barack Obama mentioned in the clip there.
And it's impressive because he had that vanity, like he was this good looking, beautiful man, and like you say, he was Superman, and then to be taken down like that, and it was like we saw, I don't know if that was the actual footage that we saw, but he apparently when he fell off his horse, his foot got stuck in the stirrup, so instead of just sort of flying out, he just went straight down right on his head, so he just the neck. So that's really sad. And then you have his recovery. We see, like, you know, he's completely helpless, and I thought it was especially touching, that scene where she said, I can feel him, but he can't feel me. Oh God. So then he actually, and I totally, you know, they showed a quick shot. He directed and starred in that movie Rear Window after the accident.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
like
right.
in the
That's
wheelchair.
right. Yeah.
And I remember there's that scene where the what's the thing that gives you oxygen, the intubator or the
yeah.
That
I think that's
it came out or something, like disconnected, and so there's a
Right.
scene of him like panicking where he can't breathe. He's waiting for the nurse to put it back in, and I'm thinking he's putting stuff in there happened to him. Like
Yeah.
it was just so like, oh God, now I think about that movie now. It's like, oh my God. Because at the time you see the movie, you're not really sure even how terrible it is. Like you see him and he's paralyzed, all the stuff, but you don't realize how huge a leap it was to do something like that.
Yeah.
That movie, like, oh my God. So he's an incredibly impressive man.
And just to keep doing what he loves doing. I mean, obviously he loved acting and he loved filmmaking and he loved being involved in it. And even something like this, he was still willing, willing to go and say, yeah, I'll commit to that, and the people, and also you have to hand it to the people who made that film to say, oh yeah, let's do this, let's engage this, actor who is an incredible actor and see, take a chance on him in that condition,
Mm-hmm.
It was also interesting that it was filmed. DC Studios is like behind it, which is kind of interesting. So you have a lot of the
Superman.
They could have all the footage,
Right. It just he just seems like an incredible person.
It's cool seeing his kids talk about him, and it's like Dana Reeve is like, she's a saint. Like she did so many incredible things, not only supporting him, but also like getting out there and pushing forward the movement. But she only died like a year after he did.
I know, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking you probably are ignoring any symptoms. Like if she had cancer or something, you ignore your symptoms because you're in the hospitals constantly dealing with doctors. You're like, I'll be fine. My husband's the focus. And then the minute she had focus on herself, oh, what's this? Why can't I?
Right.
Really tragic stuff.
So sad.
But also looks like incredibly well made.
Inspiring.
Really inspiring. Ooh, so those kind of films,
goosebumps.
Those documentaries that sort of get under you in a good way. Like I think, the Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers documentary really was like that for me too. It's very touching. So I just can't wait to see this.
This one has the added heart element of John Williams' incredible score. That music is just the Superman theme is just so like
all of the lifelong heroes. Oh my God. So this looks incredible. It's gonna be, take Kleenexes. I think
yes,
best thing you could do is take a handkerchief because it's probably gonna be so touching and sad. Oh my God.
If the trailer gets to me, wait for the movie, I know, seriously.
But I think in a way uplifting as well, because he was so, he was a very powerful presence, Christopher Reeve. I remember seeing him in other things too, not just Superman. He played very different types of characters, but I remember Somewhere in Time.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
And what was the movie with Michael Caine? Was it called Death Wish? Was it Death Wish?
Death Wish, and then he was in a John Carpenter film, kind of the remake of Children of the Damned.
That's right.
So he did a lot of other things, but he was 43 when the accident happened, and then he died 8 years later.
8 or 9 years later.
9 years later. Yeah. Oh. So it's coming November 1st, and I think it's
support. See it in the theaters. Do it for Chris.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Okay. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon with another one. Bye.